Hi there. Well, if you're joining in now, and if you got any questions or concerns about IELTS, please feel free to share them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. We're going to be starting soon, but we're just waiting for some of us to join in. In fact, some of you are also joining in on Zoom, and also send on WhatsApp, and also trying to get here. Okay, so basically the session is meant to share with you our best techniques and strategies that might help you with your preparation. So first of all, if you're thinking of IELTS, you might have a certain score in mind. Okay, it might be say 6 or 7 or 8 or even 9, and you should have a strong reason for that. So, without a strong reason, of course, you wouldn't be motivated enough, and your reason has to be realistic. And if your reason is not realistic, for example, if you are thinking of getting an IELTS score of 8 and you don't have the language proficiency or the commitment, then of course it might remain just a wish and you might not be able to get to that score easily. So it's very important to have an ideal I mean, it's very important to have a realistic score, not an idealistic one. And I've been working, in fact, with art students for a long, long time now. It's my 12th year in the industry. And there are a couple of things that students really find very, very useful. I'll be sharing them with you along the way, but at the same time, I'll be looking at your experience and your expectations during the course. Right, so for example, in my experience, the students who, or the people, in fact, not maybe the students, so there are people who would just like to migrate, so we can't call them students. The people who are most successful on the course are those who have a schedule to follow and who can devote a certain amount of time every day for their studies in short bursts. May not be long bursts, may not be long sessions, but if they can devote certain short bursts of their time and they can study in short bursts, that's much more effective than sitting for hours and hours and philosophizing things. So it's important to study in short intervals and then go back, relax, and come back to your studies. So this is something that's been working well for some students, apart from having a clear goal, apart from having a clear, realistic target score. Other than that, what seems to be working for students is their clear idea of where they are and where they are headed. For example, if a student's level is A2 and he or she is expecting to get to a score of say 7.5 in about a month's time, that is unrealistic. Because IELTS tests your language proficiency, your language ability. It's not a test of how you take the test. It's a test of how well you use the language to how well you demonstrate your language ability in the test. Obviously, it's a test, and you need to demonstrate your ability in a short time. But at the same time, it is a test of your spontaneous production, your spontaneous use of the language, your fluent use of the language, and your recall of certain strategies to, for example, answer questions in the reading test and also to speak fluently and spontaneously. So as we've been discussing, in fact, it was also discussed some days back in one of